If it's one thing that I've learned is that if you get with a guy and he's not living up to what he purported to be, get rid of him quickly. I think about a friend of mine that married a guy and he had an excellent job along with her excellent job. She really thought that it would be great for the five children that they had between them for them to get together and build a life. And when we got with her, he was doing all the love bombing, buying her new purses, new cars, buying all kind of stuff. And then as soon as they got married, the week after they got married, he stopped working. He decided that that was the time for him to be in his soft girl era, that he had been working and taking care of his other family. And then now that he had a new family, he felt like it was time for him to be taken care of. I mean, she'd be at work and he'd be going for pedicures and manicures, posting. I don't know if he thought he was going to become a social media content creator or what, but the brother just wouldn't work. This was also the time that he decided that he would get all of his medical procedures done that he'd ever needed in his life: torn meniscus, hip replacement, all of the medical treatment that he should have gotten prior to getting into marrying someone and starting over with a whole new family with a woman who had three children. So, of course, the church and everybody, oh, marriage ain't easy. Just stick it out. And girl, you got you a good man. But then it turns out he wasn't a good man either. He had a lot of issues, a lot of medical issues. He had to sleep with a CPAP machine. He had to lay certain ways in the bed. He would have coughing fits at night. And then his health just started to decline. Like he went from going to get hip replacements and knee replacements to having to have major surgery. And it was things that he had that had been medical issues that he had when he was with his first wife. But now my friend, who's trying to take care of three children, found herself taking care of her three children, herself, him, and his two kids. Because, of course, even though he didn't have custody of his children, as soon as he got with my friend who had a house and her three children living comfortably in her house, he decided he wanted one of the bedrooms for his two daughters. And so, therefore, her children had to move into bedrooms together so that his children could have a bedroom. And then he started just this ridiculous custody thing in which he was fighting with his ex-wife for custody of the kids who didn't want to have anything to do with him and forcing those kids to be with him every week. So they had this crazy custody thing where you just never knew where the kids were going to be at because he wanted to split it up so that he wouldn't have to pay anything in child support. Not to mention all of the back child support that he owed and all of the other debt that he had that my friend said, well, the church told her, well, if y'all in this together, y'all need to pay it together. So, but let me tell you what happened. So the man, like I said, he stopped working. He just wouldn't work. He just would not work. And you might say, okay, we had a good job and everything, but when you're not working, it doesn't matter how good of a job that you have. When you go on disability, you're not making as much money as you could make working and getting overtime and, getting holiday pay. So his pay went down significantly. Then it got to the point to where they were like, man, you got to make a decision. He'd used up all of his sick time. And so it was time for him to make a decision to either quit, retire or try to go into some other element of the company. And he sat on that and sat on that. And then finally, after the last back child support was paid, after his last back taxes were paid, and after both of his daughters graduated, one from college and one from high school. Yes, college and high school. When they graduated, guess what he did? He started finding things about her that he just didn't like. Everything about my friend irritated him. The way she chewed her food, the way she left her shoes outside on the porch. All of a sudden, he started to build a case as to why he didn't want to be with her anymore. And then whenever she would talk to him about, contributing and paying his part, and she couldn't afford to pay his daughter's tuition that semester, then suddenly, it was something wrong with her and she was just a gold digger and all she wanted was money. And then he got on social media and started to berate her and saying things about her. And so, of course, the church and all the old people around us and the mammies amongst us, girl, make it work out. Marriage ain't easy. And then they start telling these horror stories about what they've dealt with in marriage. Like I think I told y'all about my friend whose kid got kidnapped by his mistress. Baby was returned. The woman did a little bit of time. Then the one who actual husband, RAPE, a child, went to prison, got out, and she got back with them. So I'm sitting here listening to them tell all these horror stories about what they did in order to stay in a marriage. And I just finally looked at her. I was like, cut your losses, girl. Oh my God. They got so mad at me. She got mad at me. Well, guess what happened? He cut his wins because there was no losses for him. She paid off his debt. He got a chance to lay around for all those years that he wasn't working. Because I mean, I'm serious. Like, this dude had a great job. And then it was like a month after they got married, that's when he needed to get a knee replacement, toe replacement, need to get hair implants and everything else. And as soon as he got all of his stuff taken care of, guess what he did? He retired. No, I'm sorry. He divorced her, and she's paying him alimony. And then now he has retired and is living off of the alimony that she has to pay for him. So when I say sisters, and yeah, of course, yeah, she came back to me and was like, girl, you was right. But the thing about it is, a lot of times people think just because you're not married, they think that you don't have good marital advice. And my advice is that if you get with someone and they're showing you who they are and they're not living up to what they purported to be, you realize that they love bombed you. You realize that they're a liar. You realize that they came into the marriage and they hid their finances from you, that they owe a whole bunch in back taxes and child support. Get out of it early. Don't try to make it work, because she did all of that trying to make it work, and it did not work. In fact, all she got was worked over. Here's the deal. If you're in a relationship with a man and he's not doing what he said he was going to do, what he purported to do, you find out that he lied to you or he love bombed you, get out of it quickly. It is much easier to get back into a relationship with someone than it is to stay too long in a relationship with someone who guts you, who guts your soul, who steals your money, who humiliates and embarrasses you. Because, sisters, if it's meant to be, you won't be fighting for that marriage on your own. It takes two people to fight for a marriage. And if you're the only one fighting, you're fighting a losing battle.